You
something
would
like
sleep
that.
with like 2 women at the same time.
But listen, no. What I'm saying is
This don't
that
make no sense.
like for a woman that I'm just talking to, messing with, sleeping with, I don't give a crap what you did. Ooh, what's going on? What we drinking today is that Douce. Nothing else need to be said. Y'all know how I feel about it. So it's one of those episodes. So
It's good. I like it myself. All right, y'all. Y'all ready?
Yes.
yeah,
All right, this is my favorite part of the show. Go ahead and grab those whiteboards.
these whiteboards have been getting me in trouble.
Yeah, because you be acting out.
Getting me in trouble.
All right, you know what it is. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to write it down. We're going to count down 3, 2, 1. And you're going to flip the whiteboard, all right?
Okay.
Let's do it. Very first question. Who has the higher body count?
If y'all couldn't tell from the threesomes episode.
Wow.
And 3, 2, 1. Me, and she said, and okay.
I'm not even going to erase it because I don't know what the next question is.
You are really?
Number 2. Did you care to know about your partner's body count? Did you care to know about your partner's body count?
Did I care to know?
Mm-hmm. And 3, 2, 1. We say no, and we say
Ooh,
yeah, kinda. Ooh.
Really, Ed?
I'm glad you answered that because that's actually a question I have for y'all later. You don't know the question, but yeah. And last but certainly not least, who cares more about a body count, men or women?
I don't feel like this is a complicated answer.
No, because I think, are we saying for marriage or are we saying like just to be chilling with somebody?
In general, I'm asking.
In general.
I think it's the same answer for both.
I don't.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Men. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get into this. I asked y'all earlier who had the higher body count. We found out that it was Ed. And then I also asked, did you care to know about your partner's body count? Teresa, you said you did not care.
No.
But Ed said, yeah, kinda. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care to know about like the exact number, but I would want to know if she was just out here, just Brittany Griner in it, just Brittany Renner in it, just out here wilding.
Like, what did Brittany Griner do?
Brittany Renner in it, I would want to know if she. But then Brittany Renner said she didn't have that many bodies, but like I would want.
Cat,
yeah, but I mean, might be cat.
But what is too many bodies?
Like if she had so I had this when I was single. I had this kind of like formula. So I figured, based upon a woman's age,
age.
Let's say like for example, if a woman was 30 years old, she started sex at the age of 16.
Fair.
So if she had one body from 16 to 30, that would be 14? Is that right? About 14? It'd be 14.
Wait,
so,
she only had one body?
No. I had this formula. I'm going through the formula. Okay. So she had one body.
What's the formula?
So she had one body from the age. She started sex at like 16.
Yes.
Let's say if she was 30. So from 16 to 30, she'll have like, if she only been with 14 people, that would be like one person a year. So I would be like, okay, if she was twice that, I think that if she was more than twice that, then I started looking at her kind of different.
That's interesting because I remember when we got married, you couldn't even count how many people that you
I couldn't. So that's what I'm saying. Like it was definitely a double standard.
Logical sense
it was a double standard. So I'm like, all right. So if she had 16 times 2, 32? So if she had 32 bodies, I'm like, all right. So she slept on an average with 2 different Negroes a year from 16 to 30. So I'll have something like that.
You would sleep with like 2 women at the same time.
But listen, no. What I'm saying is
this doesn't make no sense.
Like for a woman that I'm just talking to, messing with, sleeping with, I don't give a crap what you did. don't really care.
So is that what your other answer was?
That's what I was saying. So like somebody I'm just sleeping with, I have no intention of having anything with, I don't even care what you did. You could have been gangbang. Don't even care. What I'm talking about for women, for men that,
gangbang.
You could have been gangbang. But when I'm talking about for women that I think about I might want to marry, it's like, okay, how many is, not too many. So I don't know. It's fluid based upon age. Like when you're in your 40s, you probably was just out here for so long, you can't even really look at that type of stuff. When you're in your late 30s, you can't really look at that type of stuff. But, when I'm in my 20s, you looking at that like, all right, if she got 50, 60 people she done been with in her 20s, like, dang, like, what is going on? Like, how often are you getting new dick?
What does it matter? If you're out here sleeping with every Sheila and that lady you could find, like, you're just literally like, free dicks for free. Like, if you are screaming that from the mountaintops, how dare you tell some woman that she has to count how many she has and she better not have more than 1 or 2 a year?
It's a double standard. I'm not gonna lie.
A double standard.
But listen. So and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I have this philosophy too. A woman can have sex anytime she wants to.
Because dick is free.
Because a woman can go outside and say, "Who want to have sex with me?" And multiple men will line up. A man can get married whenever they want to, and women can't.
Whoa.
The internet will be a buzz.
First of all, I'm clipping that. But say that again, because I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, so men, we want sex all the time. Mm-hmm. We can't always have sex all the time. A woman can have sex whenever they want to. They can just say, "Who wants sex with me?" Men are going to line up around the corner.
Okay.
So women want to get married. Men don't always want to get married. When a man's ready to get married, he can get married when he wants to. Wow. A woman want to get married, they got to find somebody.
That's deep.
You just opened my eyes to a lot.
Wow, that's very real. That's very real because when women want to get married, it can be difficult to find a spouse, but it's never difficult to find dick. Dick is free. Dick is everywhere. But like, if you're really just trying to find somebody to settle down with, that is more difficult.
Don't get mad at me. I'm just a vessel.
The vessel for foolishness. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
So Theresa,
yes.
Was there ever a time that you asked, because I'm in the dating space now, and I go on some dates, and by the second date, I've had that question of, how many people have you slept with? Is that a question that you asked when you all were dating?
Not a question I asked, really ever. It's mostly been asked to me. Like, a lot of men will ask, like, how many people have you slept with? Which always makes me feel like it's a man's question. Because, like, I've never experienced it where I've asked him, how many people have you slept with? I mean, later I might have regretted that because the dick was trash, but it is worth asking. I think ladies should ask too, but we would ask for a different purpose. We wouldn't really be asking for like, oh, I don't want to date somebody who's impure. I mean, I don't want to date a virgin. That's my personal opinion. I heard this thing, and I don't mean to, Michael, your face was like, what?
I heard this dude say on this conversation, conversation, he was like, real men don't ask women about their body count. And I was just like, real men don't ask women they don't give a crap about their body count. Like if I didn't care about, and it's not really body count, it was different from Theresa. It's different from Theresa. So for me, I'm getting a little bit like insight, like, dang, if you told me, yeah, it's over 200, I'm like, dang. Like, I'm like, I understand everybody got a pass, but I was like, what happened? I was like, it was just, I see it. So, okay. So I've seen this. So I knew women, especially in college, who had those type of numbers. And so I've known people, I'm not naming no names, who have married these or, got these type of women. And I'm like, it's not my place to say that because they didn't go to college. They didn't go with them. So I don't know. But do you know who this person used to be?
Who cares?
Because what happened
They're probably killing it in bed.
So you don't believe that what happened before you was before you?
No, I believe that. But what I'm saying is like in
Because what if somebody said that to me?
Because listen, no, real talk. You have to kill as a Christian. You got to kill your flesh every day.
Okay.
It's real talk. And so those things that you dealt with in the past, even though you've killed them, those still things you have to kill every day.
Right.
So me being a thought, me being a hoe in the past is still something I have to kill every single day.
Okay.
You know, so
I understand that.
If somebody is saying that they just this new person and they're not doing that, I'm like, yo, back in the day, this person dealt with this. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, are they still dealing with it? Are they just hiding it from you? Do you not have insight who this person used to be so I can help and know like, all right, this is something they used to deal with. And so I use that too with people who say they used to be gay and now they're not gay anymore. Oh, Lord. And so they say like, oh, I'm delivered. But they messed with multiple, people of the same sex. I'm like, all right, if you didn't ask them about that, you didn't know them about that, you don't know that they might still struggle with that.
Yeah.
They still liking pictures.
Because they still like it. They still watching that type of porn. They still keeping conversations up with that. And then you get married to this person and you're like, oh, I didn't know you still like that. I didn't know you still like, it's like, if you're not asking those questions and caring about it. So I think it's real conversation that people are not having. It's like, well, that's their past. They're not that person no more.
So you're inquiring to know the body count because you're trying to see if they deal with the spirit of lust?
I'm part of it, but it's like I still get to know like, all right, for me, like, did you not care about yourself enough when you dealt with 200-300 people? Because me, I didn't care about myself when I was dealing with all them.
Okay, there we go.
I didn't know that. That's the point. No, we'll be transitioning.
Back home? Yeah.
We'll be like me. I didn't care like when I was dealing with, and my body count was over 100. So it's like I didn't care about myself. When I was dealing with different women, I used that as affirmation. I used that to get over different things that I was dealing with in myself. Internally, it made me feel better to be with a different woman instead of me dealing with, oh, dang, I'm having a rough day. I don't feel as confident about myself. I may not make as much money as I should be making. So what's going to make me feel better is getting with a different woman.
I think the question then that we really should be asking, if that is the root of it, is like, how do you deal with stress? Because if instead of asking, what's my body count, that doesn't tell you much about me at all, because my body count was fairly low, because instead of, bopping around, I just kept going back to the same few. But I think the question really is, how do you deal with stress? If you deal with stress by having sex with multiple women, then that is like a stress factor. Or you deal with low self-esteem by having sex with multiple women, then it's like, okay, I know what happens when you get sad. Mm-hmm. And we need to make sure that we're keeping you on track when you're sad. When I get sad, I go to Target. So shopping can be right, and sometimes I don't buy anything. I just walk around. But shopping can be like a thing
with you in particular, because it's different with her. So I did ask, but I really didn't care. I had asked because somebody had said that they had slept with her on campus, and so I asked, like, did this person sleep with you? And they were like, oh no. And so I was like, nigga, why you lying?
Oh, I was so pissed off at him because my rule was never to sleep where you eat. And our campus was so small that sleeping around with just like a couple people was like sleeping with everybody. And then I just didn't want to have a reputation. I did not want to deal with that. So I always went off campus to get mine. So the fact that the only person I ever messed with on campus was Ed. So the fact that it was like, oh, I slept with her, I was like, it's all cap. That's all cap. Because if you thought you were sleeping with me, boo, I had been gone. I was at Ohio State. I was at Oberlin. I had dudes coming in from other schools. Like, no, that was not my thing.
Wow.
The way that sounded.
Wow.
Because dick is free, ladies. Dick is free.
That's good clip.
That was funny. One more thing with this. What do you think? Do you think, because I love what you're saying, Ed, and you're saying it from, a deeper spiritual standpoint, but do you think that for a lot of men who ask that question, it's about
ego.
It's still rooted in ego. Even if it's from a spiritual aspect,
right.
It's still an ego thing.
Why?
Because it's like, all right, as a man, and so for me, I speak for me, I'm not going to put everybody, for like, you still are a prize. You still are a prize in a man's eyes. And so as a man, you want to feel like, yeah, you know your woman is not untouchable, but you hold her in such a high, that's why I said it's not for every woman. It's for a woman that you're thinking about marriage. Mm-hmm. You hold her in such a high esteem, you don't want anybody to have dirt on them. And so one of the worst things is like you to go somewhere like, oh, I go to a high school reunion or I go to a college reunion, I didn't go with you. And they were like, oh, you wifed up Theresa? What the heck you mean with that? What you mean by that? What you mean like what's like, oh, she was called Fun Girl. So it's for me, I'm getting arrested that night because that's not.
But most girls who lived that life would not go back. Like I remember,
they moved to Atlanta.
One of my thoughtiest girlfriends, whom I loved, like that girl was so much fun and so wild. She ended up marrying a pastor. And when I tell you she deleted everybody, including me, deleted everybody from her social media, got off social media completely, came back years later with a new name, only friended certain people. And when we were like, hey, you want to go back for a reunion? It was a resounding, absolutely not.
That's right. we love a good rebrand.
Yeah.
When I tell you she rebranded herself, and most girls who had a fantastic time in college or in graduate school have no intentions on ever returning there with their spouses and their kids because they know what it was. Like they know they liked the experience. They had a good time while they were there. They had no intentions on keeping those friends or those people around them anymore. So yes, a true rebrand.
That's fair.
One final question. To revisit something that we discussed during Savage season, right?
Oh.
I love that one.
You all did, the two of you had a break where y'all both went y'all separate ways before y'all got married. Was there a conversation about body counts during that break?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. That's good.
At that point, I didn't care. Like, I knew... well, when I got finally the opportunity to get her and get married, I knew who she was as a person. So regardless of, Theresa was more of a relationship girl. She had her savage spells, but she was more of a relationship. She never was single for long. Like she just has those qualities where it's like a man is gonna try to snap and keep and scoop her up. And so like, I already knew who she was. So it wasn't. For me, I didn't care then.
Yeah, and I already knew Ed was a host, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you know your spouse or your future spouse, it's just not a big deal. And as long as, my thing I always said was I just could not marry a virgin. It just wasn't for me. Because I could just not have anybody who didn't know what they were doing when we went to bed. But I think for, some people, that's their gig.
That might be a topic.
What, virgins? I have friends who are still virgins. I always recommend they stop, but
Wow. Okay. Yep. We're gonna look up for that one.
It's definitely going to be. That's a great way to wrap things up.
I love Jesus. I love Jesus.
I love.
Wow. Cheers to another successful episode. Cheers to you. The question this week, we want you to please write in the comments, does your partner's body count matter to you?
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell.